It's the holiday time of year, and in today's video we are making a holiday favorite, pecan pie. Welcome to Pop Keto, where we aim to help you live a sustainable keto and low carb lifestyle. In today's video we are making a holiday favorite, and it is completely keto and low carb friendly. We are making pecan pie. So we're going to get into the cook now, but before we do, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you are new to our channel, make sure you get into the comments and say hi. We would love to hear from you. So we're going to start with the pie crust for the pecan pie. So before we get started on that, make sure you preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I have also pre-greased my pie dish, and I have used just some unsalted butter, and I've just rubbed that on just to prevent any sticking. In my large mixing bowl, I have 200 grams of ground almond or almond flour. And to this ground almond, I'm now going to add half a cup of erythritol. That would be about 60 grams. Next up, I'm adding half a teaspoon of cinnamon and a quarter teaspoon of salt. We've used pink Himalayan salt. Now we're just going to combine all of our dry ingredients. Once that's all combined, we are going to add 90 grams of melted butter. This is unsalted butter because we've already added the salt into our dry mixture. And now we're just going to stir that through until it is all combined. We are now ready to form our pie crust. For this pie crust, I'm actually going to be pressing this in. I'm not actually rolling it out. I'm placing it out evenly, and then I will press this down evenly and also up the sides of the dish. So that is now all pressed in. It's all nice and even along the bottom and along the sides as well. Just pay particular attention to pressing in right in those edges at the bottom, just to make sure that that crust doesn't stay too thick. So we're now ready to place this in the oven. We're going to put it in for about 15 minutes or until the top edges are starting to brown. While we have our pie crust in the oven, we're going to start working on the filling. On a low to medium heat, we are going to melt 150 grams of unsalted butter. Once the butter is melted, we are adding 1/3 cup or 70 grams of golden erythritol. Now, if you don't have golden erythritol, that's okay. You can just use normal erythritol as well. And it's worth continually stirring that through until it's nicely combined and a nice thick sauce. A lot of pecan pie recipes do use maple syrup. We're not actually using it in this occasion, but that's where the golden erythritol really helps bring that nice caramel flavor in. So once your sauce is combined and nice and thick, take it off the heat. We don't want it to overheat and start to split. Okay, so I have that off the heat now, and we're gonna add the remaining ingredients. So while we're just keeping that sauce moving, we're gonna add in 1 cup of full cream. And we're just gonna keep stirring that through as we pour that in. To that, I'm gonna add half a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And finally, a quarter teaspoon of salt. Again, we are using pink Himalayan salt. So we're just going to keep stirring this through, and we need this to cool because we are now going to add 2 eggs to this. Now, if it's too warm, it's going to scramble your eggs, and you don't want that to happen. So we want to keep that nice creamy consistency, so it's ideal just to let that cool. Okay, so this mixture is now cooled down nicely, so I'm going to add in these 2 eggs. So your mixture will be quite thick at this point, so it's still obviously runny, but quite thick, and it's looking good. So I'm just going to pop this aside, and I'm going to get the pie crust out of the oven. With the crust now out of the oven and we have our filling ready to go, we're going to assemble and bake. But before we do, I have found that it is so much easier to put the pie dish in a tray, or on a tray I should say. Just makes it so much easier with moving it around. So with assembling our pecan pie, I have 150 grams of pecans, of which I have picked out about 20 pecans that are the nice whole ones. I've kept those aside for the end, which I'll show you in a moment. But for the rest, I've just roughly chopped them, and we're going to pop those in. So now in with the mixture. I'm just going to give that one quick final stir, and then I'm pouring it in. Pour it in nice and slow so it can cover the base and the pecans nicely. So there you see, it's sitting in nicely, looking great. So I mentioned I just kept around 20 whole pecans. So I'm just gonna place those around the edges. So I'm gonna be placing this back in the oven. Temperature is the same, and we are going to set the timer for 40 minutes. So we're gonna bake this for about 40 to 50 minutes. It will depend on your oven. Ultimately, what we're looking for is for the pie to look nice and golden. You may want to look at covering your crust so they don't get burnt. In this situation, I'm happy for it to cook a little bit further. I may have a look at it maybe 20 minutes in. All right, into the oven. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. Let's pull it out. So here we have our finished pecan pie. Now I did have a look at this at around 20 minutes, and I did see that the crust was starting to go a nice golden brown. So I did put a crust protector on it. If you don't have one of these, you can absolutely use some tin foil just to put around the edges. So let's see how this pie is looking. So as you can see, the crust is nice and golden brown, and the mixture is nicely set and also looking nice and golden brown. So from here, what we need to do is allow it to cool and set. And then once it's chilled, you can then serve up. So it's really important that you do let this pie cool. If you were to serve it as it is straight out of the oven, it will just fall apart. So it's really important to put it in the fridge to allow it to set properly. So we're gonna let this one cool, and then we will come back to taste. So we're back to taste. We have our cooled pie, and we've just put a dollop of cream on the top. So you can see now it's holding its form nicely, and you can see the layers in there as well. So this looks delish, and I can't wait to taste. So there you get that filling is really nice balanced flavor, not crazy sweet. All the flavors are there, sort of got that caramel taste to it. That is lovely, and it's one of those things where you have a slice, you probably want to go back for another one. But yes, super enjoyable, and certainly one of those holiday desserts that are really great to indulge in and not feel like you're missing out. So that is the pecan pie. I hope that is something that you can try over this holiday season, and we'd love to hear from you if you have made it. So make sure you let us know in the comments below. So we hope you have a wonderful holiday season, enjoying lots of great family time and lots of good food. Stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next video.